Action! Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Hearing Things with Julie and Brad. We are so excited. Today is the first time that we are recording with actual, real, grown-up production equipment. We have a camera, we have a little mic, and one lapel mic wasn't working great, so we're going to pass this one back and forth, but this is our first shot at using any of this stuff, so we're pretty psyched. And I'm really excited. And all I can think of, because my ADHD brain is going all over town, is the old Brady Bunch episode. When I think it was Bobby was on TV or something, and was told to look at the red light on the camera and got like mesmerized by it and then couldn't speak. So this is all I'm thinking about is I'm looking into this camera and the red light. So I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to let you take over and introduce. So it's good to know that even though we have this fancy new equipment, I have not changed and neither have you. No. So here we go. We're still us. Here you go.
If nothing else, we are informal. And that's hopefully it comes across as endearing. If it's not endearing, you've probably turned us off by now.
Probably.
Yeah.
But we're endearing. All right, what are we doing today?
So anyway, today we're going to do caption apps. So as a librarian, I get this question a lot since I've started to be more forthcoming about my hearing loss and be a resource for the hearing loss community. So I thought it'd be a good idea to just go over a few apps that either I use or know that other people use and actually like. And so mileage may vary. So the first one is the Ava app. This is definitely the one that I use the most. It also has the most flexibility. It's something you can download on the laptop. So I have it actually on this laptop if I need it. It works for iOS devices. It works for Android devices. There is a paid tier, but the free tier is all that I've been using, which works fine. It's limited to a 40-minute session. That just means you have to exit out and then go back in after 40 minutes. The captions are really straightforward. So they're as good as any AI captioning. They're gonna make mistakes, but they all do, right? Sure. Unless you have CART interpreters, they're going to be mistakes. It's customizable, so you can see. I'll link to these slides. I'll put the slides in a link so everybody can just look at them in the future, so you don't have to remember everything that's on these slides. But I do like to say that you can see my screen. I prefer the dark background on light text, so I always use what they call dark mode, and so that's why that looks like that.
I didn't know there was an option.
Yes.
Mine must have gone to that.
Yep. So the next one is live captions. And so this is a setting in an iOS device only. And so if you go into the settings, accessibility, and then live captions, you can turn that on. And that will basically turn your microphone on your iPhone into the source for the captions.
So iOS is the Apple operating system for people that may not know that. Some older folks may not know what iOS means versus Android. And what's kind of cool about that is you don't have to download another app. It's already built into the phone, which is pretty cool. I've tried that one. I actually prefer that over Ava because I find sometimes Ava has a little bit more of a delay, and I found Apple captions to be a little more accurate for me, but I haven't used it enough to really fairly talk to the differences like you have, but I've been excited that it's right there and I can pop it on and pop it off when I need it.
It's a great point because it doesn't have an app. There's going to be less of data transmission. Right. So Ava has to transmit the captions through the app to the operating system.
That's why.
Since
learn something new every day.
Since it's part of the operating system, there's no transmission delay. And we're also talking about like milliseconds.
Right, milliseconds. Yeah. Definitely not like somebody said the sentence and then 2 minutes go by and they're on to 10 more sentences and you're still waiting for them to say hello to you on the Ava app. So it is fast. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, good. Learn something new.
This is also the setting that allows captions on FaceTime calls. So when you turn it on, you have FaceTime calls. So
I haven't done that yet.
When you called me for FaceTime, and I was in the middle of a workout, so I didn't have my hearing aids in. The only reason I could hear you
that day
was the captions.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can turn it on. Check it.
Next time my mother calls, I'm shocked she hasn't called yet. So, Mom, we're waiting for you. You always like to call in the middle of a recording. We're waiting. We're ready.
All right. So that's live captions, not an app, but part of the operating system. So the next one we have here is live transcribe. So this is the Google equivalent of like Ava. And so I know a lot of people that do swear by it. So like if you have an Apple, you can't use the live captions because that's Apple only. You can use Ava, but this is live transcribe, and anytime you have multiple apps, you want that competition. This one, I couldn't get it to work when I downloaded it on a Android tablet that I have at work, and that it's a really cheap tablet. So I wonder if that's going to be a problem where you're going to have issues installing the app because of different devices.
With older technology, if some of these will not be as efficient.
Yeah.
Not quite sure. I don't know enough about it, but that's one thing I caution people to. You may have to have some trial and error with that as well.
Yeah. So again, this is also customizable. So the live captions, the one that's in the settings, is really not much customization. This is more like Ava. You can do the dark mode.
Can you talk a little bit about the customization? Are you talking about like actual words that you would hear frequently,
so,
or more like the view?
This is in this case, both. And so usually it's the view. So customization means that if the default text size is too small for you, you can boost the text size. You can change it to the white background on white text on black background, or black text on white background. But this one, Live Transcribe, actually has a custom dictionary.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you could teach it. So you could teach it certain words, and then it would recognize them, provided you enunciate those words clearly enough.
So just so I understand, as a special education teacher, if I was using this option, I could train it to always be able to transcribe content-based words that will come up in meetings with parents over and over again.
Exactly, yeah.
So like individualized education programs, things like that, it'll pick that up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty handy. So I mean, if you can get it to work, and I think any kind of app-specific setting that one app has that another doesn't, if it's proven useful, it'll get rolled out.
That's cool.
So maybe I didn't dig too deeply into Ava. Maybe it already has that customization. So if you're curious and you have Ava, just go into the settings and poke around and see what options are there.
That would be a paid feature. So for the live transcribe, is that?
It's free.
That's all free. So
that's
the
all free.
customizable
Yep,
dictionary and
all
everything
free.
is free. Oh, that's
and there's no time limit. So like with Ava, there's the free tier, but you only get 40. And Live Transcribe, there's no limit and no price.
So because I enjoyed derailing presentations so much, I have a question. With these, I know with Ava, I think you can save the transcript of the conversation, but that gets a little sticky in Massachusetts because of recording consent.
Yeah, it's two-party state.
Technically, you have to share that you are recording the conversation, and by saving the transcript, that counts as recording.
Yep.
And the other person that you're recording has the right to then have their own record of the conversation as well. So that's something you need to be really thoughtful about, especially if you're using it in meetings. I know for me with my work, I definitely wouldn't be able to use that option with confidential student meetings. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. As handy as that is, there are situations where would be unlawful.
So I know Ava has the option to turn off autosave, and so you won't. And anytime you have anything that's saved in these apps, you can delete the transcript. So you do have that option as well. But it gives you a lot of flexibility.
Cool.
All right, so the last one I have isn't actually a transcription app. It's Linguistic, and so it's the app that I use when I make phone calls because it captions the phone calls. And I was poking around during research on this, and in the bottom corner, somewhere over here, I can't really see, you can see where we're kind of fussing around as we go. We're learning on the job. But there's a little microphone on the Linguistic app. You tap that, and it becomes a transcription app.
I didn't know it could do both things.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Only for the phone.
Yeah, so so what Julie's saying is normally what this is that it doesn't use the speaker or the microphone on the phone, so I can't put it on the table and have the captions. It's usually just when I'm calling my mom, because she's the only one I really call. I have that going, and I can see what she's saying in the app. So I use a different application for my phone, and so this will transcribe the calls, give you the captions for the calls. But this option also allows it to turn into something like an Ava or a live transcribe.
So this reminds me of the old days with the TTY relay service, right? So it's like that text is coming up as you're reading it, but instead of a person translating it on the other end and shooting it back to you on the screen, this is doing that automatically. Oh, that's cool. That's true. You really don't call on the phone. So if you ever call me, I better open that napkin app and hurry, because something is probably wrong. Because you really only call your mom.
It's very true. So there are more, but I just wanted to give you I give everybody kind of an introduction to the Caption apps. And there's really no right answer here. If you have better experience with Live Transcribe and not Ava, fine. Whatever works, because there's no one way to be deaf or hard of hearing,
True.
right? And so if you have something that you do use that I didn't mention, please comment below, because we want to share that out, because I don't know everything, surprisingly enough.
I do.
Yeah,
but
well, she does,
okay.
right? We leave it to her. Okay, so that's it. So, do you
Very
have?
cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I'm really excited to see where the technology goes next. There's been so much growth with just the Caption apps alone, going from basically nothing. And in the last 5 to 10 years, all of a sudden, there's been a real boom in how to use your phone to accommodate for hearing loss. So it's actually really exciting. I'm looking forward to what comes next for us.
Same.
Kind of make our world a little more accessible in a different way, an easier way, with less equipment, just using your phone.
Yeah.
So speaking of using your phone,
Yeah.
I am going to go with my book choice.
Nice. What do you got?
Okay, Judy Blume, a fantastic, renowned children's author. She's amazing. She wrote 4 books for adults, believe it or not.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she did. They're really good. And my favorite is called In the Unlikely Event, and it was published in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about a 15-year-old girl named Miri Ammerman and her family and friends. They cope with a plane crash in Elizabeth, New Jersey. From the time period was December 51 to February 1952. And that was actually her first adult book in 17 years, and only one of 4 that she wrote in her entire career. It was really enjoyable. I wasn't sure how she was going to translate with her writing style to writing for adults.
Yeah.
And it is as seamless, if not better, than the books she wrote for kids and young teens.
Excellent.
It's excellent. I highly recommend it. I can't remember if this is based off of a true story of a plane crash in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I think that there were a couple that happened
Yeah.
in that time period, and I'm wondering if she drew inspiration from that event for this book. So it's definitely worth researching a little bit more, but it's fantastic. Highly recommend it.
Yes, I didn't know she wrote adult books.
Yeah, she did. She's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have been able to go to Judy Blume at all points of my life. You know,
That's awesome.
revisit some of her classics like Fudge and Super Fudge and
Yeah.
Tales of Fourth Grade Nothing, and then dive into the adult canon.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Awesome.
What do you got?
So I have a book called Bad English. You don't have to see that, yeah. So Bad English, and so it's another one of my word nerdy books.
Sure.
And it's the book that realized that it's okay to have a pet peeve when it comes to grammar. And one of mine is using literally, figuratively. This book made me rethink a little bit, like language is always changing. And so the book just goes over like what's traditionally bad English and kind of explains how language is always changing. It was a great book.
I'm cackling because
Why are you
all
cackling?
I'm thinking about is the Oxford comma.
The Oxford comma, right here.
You have a
yeah?
major pet peeve
right here. Oxford
about the
comma.
Oxford comma.
No, that's grammar, so
Why I
that's
start
punctuation.
laughing. See, this is why I don't even pay attention. You do all my editing for me. I'm like, whatever, grammar, punctuation, words, I don't care.
Great. So yeah,
All right.
yeah. So there we go. We are really sweating here. It's the first day of summer, I guess.
Yep.
So anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed us learning on the job how to
Something
use the
new.
system.
We're excited.
So we will see you next time.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.